We're standing in front of a mahogany tree. This is probably one of the most important tree to Belize's history. We know that when the income from logwood declined in the 1770s, the settlers were forced to find another economic plant. They were forced to find another source of income for mercantile trade with Britain. And what they came up with was mahogany. Mahogany was important for the British because its color and its workability. It was easy to saw and mortise and work. So it would also not swell and split in the British climate, right? Because the British climate, as we all know, was very peculiar. It could be it could be cloudy and wet at times, and also hot. So it wouldn't split nor it wouldn't swell. Now, we know that mahogany was very important for Belize, and this lasted from the 1770s up until the 1950s, when a British economist by the name of Jack Downey recommended that Belize shouldn't put so much money into mahogany, because the time from the improvement in the trees, the investment in the trees, and until the time that it would take to cut the trees was a long period. So he was saying that Belize could not withstand that. And in one of his reports on the 1950s, he says that it wouldn't be until the 1990s that mahogany would be profitable for Belize. We know that that mightn't be completely true, because other people have invested in mahogany and they have made serious monies off mahogany in places like Fiji, where a lot of, well, all the seedlings, the seed materials came from Belize, and Fiji has made a huge billion-dollar industry of mahogany, which has even caused some civil strife and some serious geopolitical maneuvering to happen. So, Freddie, can you tell us a little bit more about the science behind the science and the botany of the mahogany tree?
Okay, mahogany tree, as we know it as our national tree in Belize, they're one of the biggest trees that we can find around the forest, one of the emergent trees. This tree is in the Meliaceae family, which includes also cedars. So Meliaceae, also the botanical name would be Swietenia macrophylla. So these guys here have pinnate leaf, compound leaves, which are similar to the cedars. So mahogany trees are one of our first, or one of the biggest trees that you will find that are pollinated by a lot of insects, and also the seeds would be dispersed by wind. So we could see that the seeds are mostly dispersed by wind, and they have an advantage over other trees that they can be dispersed miles away from the parent plant. So that gives them more space for them to grow and better areas for them to improve.
Okay, could you tell us a little bit about the seed dispersal of the mahogany tree?
Okay, the seed dispersals, usually it happens around the dry season as well, and the seed dispersal is, like I mentioned, wind dispersed. They usually look like tiny little helicopters flying through the air, and because they can be elevated by the wind and they're emergent trees, they have like a bigger reach. They can reach like maybe 5 miles away from the plant, from the mother plant, or maybe, you know, a few miles away. So some plants only have the ability to disperse their seeds a few meters away from the main plant. So this has a bigger advantage over other plants. So the same thing with the cedars, they are all wind dispersed plants.
Okay, thank you, Freddie.